Now we go down to the first hole.
Rich, what a great position to be in. 3 days of great golf. The lead, you know it. Exchange of cards on the first tee, ready to go. 3-4 hours in front of you, and you don't quite know the outcome. That's why we play this game.
And this is where the pressure begins to heighten because all of the attention is focused squarely on you. With the lead, television cameras on you, fans on you. Can you handle it? We'll see. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Solid play, heart of the green. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Well, still a long ways to go.
Yeah, I'd like to think at the end of the day he's forgotten about that.
This hole is playing tough. Bogey here yesterday, now looking at bogey again. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
This is a good-looking shot. Well, that one didn't work out. It didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, that looked good to me. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. So a drop shot. Frank, this hole, the third at 428 yards, has been a part of the U.S. Open story for a long time, for obvious reasons.
It's just a great par 4. It's a typical U.S. Open par 4 that challenges in between the ears as well as the swing and the execution itself. The second shot, slightly uphill. You've really got to break this green into two sections. That ridge in the middle, anything past that, everything funnels off and towards the back of the screen. Anything short of that, well, it actually goes towards the front side. So very difficult from tee all the way through to the green.
Wouldn't say he's ecstatic, but not unhappy either.
24 feet. There'll be a lot of players much further away than that on this hole. That's the cruelest thing about this game, Rich. I mean, it's just now it's another shot.
So just a formality here. Did the job right there. Now to the par 5 fourth. It is 609 yards. Frank, this has been pivotal in past U.S. Opens.
Yeah, it certainly has. A good drive here, there's a chance to go for the par 5 and 2. A bad drive here, finding the church pews or the bunkers on the right. More often than not, you're pitching out sideways. Totally different proposition.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
And it makes the green in regulation. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Starting to play some good golf. With that birdie, moves to 4 under for the tournament. Well, the good short par 4 has become standard at most modern U.S. Opens. Here's an example, Frank, 382-yard fifth.
Yeah, this is where you have to play the percentages. If you're going to play a hole 4 times, if I put myself in the fairway 4 times with a long iron, will I play the hole under par? That's the strategy here.
Frank, what do your eyes tell you as you look at this second shot here at the 5th hole at Oakmont?
Well, it's another typical U.S. Open second shot where often you're not looking at the flag. You're trying to pick that section, which is about 7 or 8 yards on the front right of that green. And then you can see what the green will do with it. If you come in with a shorter club, it'll stop, won't roll as much. A longer club, it will curve around to the left a little more. This is all about finding that spot rather than hitting it at the flag.
Will not be happy with that one. They'll take it. That's a par. And now to the par 3 6th here at Oakmont, measuring in at just under 200 yards. Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Wow, what a shot. Doesn't even need the putter. Frank, the 7th here at Oakmont at 434 yards looks like your prototypical U.S. Open hole in that it requires some accuracy off the tee.
It does, and the bunkers are exactly where you would like to hit it, that sort of awkward distance. So if you want to challenge this hole off the tee, you're going to bring the 5 bunkers into play, the 2 on the left and the 3 on the right. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Played par yesterday. This one for birdie. Excellent read for birdie to move to 5 under for the tournament. U.S. Opens, Frank, as you well know, you've played in so many of them, are supposed to be demanding and tough. This is what a U.S. Open's all about. A par 3 at nearly 300 yards. That's the 8th at Oakmont.
It's not just the length, too, but this is a typical Oakmont green, which means it's not easy. There is an option, though, if you can't reach this green, or at least fly it on, you might get a lucky bounce to kick forward. You'll see a lot of people chipping from around the front edge of this green, and there's no shame in that.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Looking to splash this softly onto the green. Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and
Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
And now to the 9th, and in case a player has forgotten somehow that he's at a U.S. Open, the 9th will remind him very quickly that this is the national championship. This is demanding.
I'm loving that balance.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards.
This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Another good swing. Another good approach shot.
Nudge this one home. Finish it up. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances. And the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can have just a wedge in here. you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill. It plays a good 200 yards from the second.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. The bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Wow, really off the mark. Missed the green here. Ready for his third shot. Needs to hit this close. Settles in over the putt. No, that's not the way you want to start the back nine. Missed putt, bogey, and a drop shot. Frank, they didn't have any openings at EA Sports Basketball because, I mean, this is just brutal to watch. Par 4 11th is 379 yards as we continue. The backside here at the U.S. Open at Oakmont. Frank, what's the strategy off the tee here?
You're hitting something that goes about 240, 250 yards maximum, hopefully keeping it out of that right rough. And the reason why that right rough is certainly to be avoided is that big gaping bunker at the front of the screen. Green's perched up a little bit, so this is another one where if you can hit an iron or a utility club off the tee, you must find the fairway.
Now that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now at the par 5 12, 667 yards. Frank, you've played golf around the world at the very highest level. I've heard you say you think this is one of the hardest par 5s on the planet. Why?
The slope of the fairway, you don't get a flat lie anywhere along that, and the green slopes away from you. So really there's no easy out. This is the only par 5 I've ever seen where the best players in the world would take a 5.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Frank, what are you looking to do on this approach shot here at the par 5 12th?
Well, if you're not lucky enough to be able to get the second shot down by that greenside bunker, which leaves you some sort of pitch, you've got to avoid these two sections of cross bunkers. But remembering, you're heading to a side slope, so either draw the ball against the side slope or somehow aim it high enough up the hill that there's enough fairway for it to stop on. That was a good run at it, Rich. It's no snack, though.
Oh, I thought he had that. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away. In this situation, Richard, bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
From a long par 5 to a relatively short par 3. We're at the 13th at Oakmont, 183 yards. Frank?
Another hole because of the shape of this green that you're almost breaking down into 3 sections. That front little circle you can see, the bit in the middle or the bit at the back. You're trying to play to one of those 3 sections.
Making it look easy at this point. Another beautiful approach shot. Bogey here yesterday. Chance to better that today. And he has it for birdie. The reason Oakmont has hosted so many U.S. Opens, Frank, as you well know, is it has a really good blend of holes. And now we come to a short par 4 at 358 yards, the 14th.
You can see the predicament in front of you, bunkers left and right, but really the bonus here is you can get the ball on the fairway with just something like a long on off the tee. This is one of your best scoring opportunities at Oakmont.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. It's a good-looking putt right here. You might like it. Well, hello there.
Huge bonus making that one.
Well, this is a good U.S. Open par 4 at 499 yards. The 15th is one of the better holes in the course, Frank.
It is. The shape of the tee shot you think would suit a cut, but because the fairway slopes quite severely to the right, really it needs a draw just to work its way against that slope and somehow keep it on the straight and narrow.
Frank, downhill shot here. Will he have to take it just a little bit easier?
Yeah, be careful with the ball position as well. If you play the ball too far forward and try and scoop it, it's not going to work.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's how you keep a round going. Make them from that distance. Frank, this is a point in the round where you really need to summon your best stuff. Par 3 of 231 yards. You know the pressure's building. We're at the 16th hole. And you have a long iron in hand. You can't flinch. You can't take it halfway back and go. This has to be the complete swing, and you have to really have the nerve on this shot.
Yeah, this shot has to be hitting right out of the button, that's for sure. One thing to consider, though, in the back of your mind, it's always better putting back uphill. Well, uphill is actually from the back of the screen. So you actually can be a little braver on 16 than what you might think standing on that tee, because a little long is better than a little short.
Did the job right there. We're coming down to the wire here at the U.S. Open Championship at fabled Oakmont, and the tension's starting to build. And Frank, this is decision time at this very short 313-yard par 4.
Yeah, normally in a U.S. Open, Rich, you'd think the prudent play would be lay it up, but I kind of like driver here today. I think the worst you're going to do is just miss the green or hit it one of those pop bunkers. You perhaps could drive it on the green, be putting for eagle, but even out of one of those bunkers, you've got to think you're even money to get it up and down. I like driver here.
This is a good-looking shot. Well, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Could really use this one. It's for birdie. Just playing excellent golf. 5 under for the tournament. Frank, you know this as well as anyone, having competed in and contended in U.S. Open championships. An 18th hole at a U.S. Open is supposed to be tough. A par is supposed to be hard won. This has all the elements of a great finishing hole, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if you could use the word fair, but you would say it's a just finishing hole. It's right, because it extracts the best you'd ever want to see out of a champion. Someone that can basically stand on that tee, gather their thoughts together, thump something down the fairway, then come up with a second shot that's nearly as challenging as the tee shot, and then somehow two-putt. You do all that with the lead, you deserve to pick up the U.S. Open trophy. That looked like it nearly got below the lip, the level of the lip there.
Can't believe that one, Frank. That was a complete horseshoe right there. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. And there it is, a U.S. Open victory.